I remember a friend of mine, and he's a devotee in my country, and he told me how he got to the movement.
Right.
He was very young, like 30 years ago, and he was in the middle of the city, and suddenly he saw someone bald and full of books in his hand and walking. But at the same time, he looked to everybody around him. Everybody was freezed, like statues, and only him and this person was acting normally. So later he asked to his friends, who is this guy with this clothes like that and bald and this? Oh, this is the Hare Krishnas. So because of that, he got to the movement. He is in the movement today also.
That's amazing.
Another commentary is I saw more than 2 times Prabhupada saying that actually, indeed, everything is spiritual. He says the difference is the matter, the same matter that is in the spiritual world is here, but the difference there is eternal, and here is temporary. And in another reading, Prabhupada gives an example. He says that what happens in spiritual world is so true what is happening here, and what is happening here in the material world is so true what is happening in our dreams. The difference, the dreams have a very short span, and the material world is a little more higher span, and then the spiritual world is eternal span. Thank you.
Good. Anybody else? Mike?
Before coming to Krishna consciousness, I happened to go to a Vipassana seminar where they were teaching that you control between the 2 eyebrows and make the mind completely still. But then I was not successful in doing that, and then in search of God, finally I ended up in Krishna consciousness. But the memories of that seminar, sometimes I just wonder whether that principle can be still used as a catalytic tool to improve our chanting, focusing in the chanting, because when you chant and the mind is wandering here and there, so I mean.
Yes, very, very good question. So there are different techniques for different preparations before one chants that can assist one. So what is helpful, because the mind initially is restless, no doubt. So what is helpful is to create an area of a border of how far the mind can go. You create a border. So within the temple room now, so you tell, okay, the mind, your mind is restless. Try to breathe a bit. Try, if your mind is really restless, try to breathe in and out a few times. It should calm it down. What also helps is to chant the Pancha Tattva mantra. Pray to Lord Chaitanya. Cheto Darpana Majanam. That also helps. I found that helps me a lot to chant the Pancha Tattva mantra. But if the mind is going to wander, let it wander within the circumference of the chanting. That needs a little bit of guidance, because the nature of the mind it just goes away. Before you know it, you just gone here, there, and next thing you're somewhere else. So it needs a little bit of preparation. If my mind is going to wander, how far can I let it go? Okay, if it's going to wander, what did Radhe Shyam wear yesterday? Why don't we think about that? Okay, start at the feet. Okay, this is what the outfit they wore. Okay, what did Krishna Balaram have special yesterday? So get it going. What did the Bhagavatam class yesterday? What was it about? Just one quick point or some summary of it. That helps. Or the Bhagavad Gita class. What did the Prabhu say about the mind? Something. Then you bring it in and say, okay, right. So the mind went off, but you You gave it something, but you brought it back in. So it's not easy, definitely. That's why we struggle. They say we do 22 hours of service just so that we can focus in a strong way when we're chanting our japa. So, and the other thing also is that you do 2 hours of powerful japa so that your service is focused. So it's not easy. Rupa Goswami explains in 8th verse of Nectar of Instruction. Tannama Rupa Charitat Vikirtananu Smrityo Kramena Rasana Manasa Niyoya Tishtem Braje Tatanuragitananugami. You focus your mind, wherever you're living, try to remember Braja. Try to remember something about Vrindavan. Your favorite place. Go there. Try to remember your spiritual master with you there. Try to spiritualize the thought. So the mind is wandering, but it's not wandering into crazy things. And then bring it back. Another thing that's helpful, that's suggested, is the Bhakti Rasayana slokas. The essence, there's 63 or 64 slokas of the Bhagavatam that are very rich and deep in devotional sentiment to Krishna. So if you feel your mind very restless, you can read some of those verses and keep it as a meditation. So all of that has to be done by yourself and myself. How to create boundaries so the mind doesn't go too far. Otherwise, just going on with the chanting, even though your mind is restless, it works in the beginning. You just like Drita Vratha, I told my Guru Maharaj 16 rounds and I'm just gonna go for it, But after a while, you're not gonna get taste from this. The Bhagavatam is about relishing. Krishna gives instructions here in Gita. It's relishing, but not as relishing as the Bhagavatam. So if we use these guidelines of the previous acharyas, then they're very helpful in trying to keep the mind enamored, enchanted. Actually, the right word is enchanted. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's called chamatkar. To enchant the mind. The mind is so fascinated with Krishna, it becomes enchanted. Chamatkar. So we have to reach at least some part of that stage before we can talk about anything about real ruchi, nam ruchi, taste for chanting. So it's a lot of pre-work, homework that goes in before that to get the foundation right first. And then later, when we establish that strongly, then it becomes easier as it goes on. To start on a very practical note, Burjan Prabhu wrote this book on japa. He gives a very practical, super practical, wonderful suggestion. He says, just hear one mantra. Start with one mantra. And you heard that? Okay, now I'll chant the next mantra. Okay, now I'll chant the next mantra. Okay, now I'll chant the next mantra. And as a practical effort to keep the mind focused. Look what we discussed today, pranayam to keep the mind focused. How long is that going to be effective? You don't have any focal point, you don't have anything to keep the mind fixed. Arjuna rejected it. I can't do this. So we have such a dynamic process of sound which is most powerful. If somebody is disturbed, I said, Prabhu, calm down, just calm down. I'm saying calm down. My sound and tone of my voice, it calms down. Sound has such an effect to calm down, to control something. So we're practicing, there's a whole seminar on this, called sonic spirituality. How to perfect spirituality using sound. That's for another time. But wonderful point. I think we're way over that time. But you want to say something?
Yeah. It's almost the same as she has asked.
Okay, you speak it.
As he says, Chitta Vritti Nirodha iti yoga, as Patanjali said.
Yes.
Chitta Vritti Nirodha means, and yoga is to connect. Vijayate is yoga. And Chitta Vritti Nirodha with breathing and all that.
So yeah, There's different ways of connecting that we're hearing about. Krishna is speaking.
And we also saw in the picture that all the chakras were shown and they were open. So it is with the breathing process only that even the chakras are open.
Well, not only, because Prabhupada told us if you jump and dance in the kirtan, then all the chakras automatically open up. When you jump and dance in kirtan, by dancing, the base chakra is the Muladhara chakra, and then the other chakras also. You're enjoying the kirtan, your heart chakra is enlivened, you're singing, your throat chakra is enlivened, you are meditating on Krishna, your mind chakra, your forehead, Agyan chakra, the top, you're breathing in and out, you're dancing, and you're purifying it by chanting Krishna's name. So all of that, by dancing in kirtan, all of that can be done at one time.
Thank you, sir.
Okay? Alright, we should stop there.
I just want
Okay, yeah, sure, please,
quickly.
please.
This Mataji's attitude when she was speaking about Patanjali, he
Right.
might be a person but he might not be a person. It's the same attitude that Krishna might be a person and Krishna might not be a person. We know from the Shastras, from Srila Prabhupada's purports, that Patanjali was a disciple of Vyasadeva and was given from Vyasadeva. So
Right.
we know he's a person. We don't
Yes.
have to accept her view.
Sure, and I did elaborate a little bit, but I said in context of hiding behind the screen, nobody could see him. They just heard a voice. So in that context, they didn't know who is this person. Of course he must be, how is he speaking? He must be a person. But who he is and the personality, nobody knew that. That's the point I was making. And she as a Sanskrit, definitely your point is valid. No, it's not that we're trying to promote impersonalism or anything here. So definitely valid point, but in context of what she was speaking, to say that he would speak behind the screen. So what is his voice behind the screen? Who is the personality behind the screen? That nobody is very enigmatic. So yes, but thank you for that. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande.